Hi, I'm with Dorman Products, and I'm here to talk to you today about our fuel lines. At their most basic, a fuel line is just what it sounds like, a tube which fuel passes on its way from the fuel tank to the fuel rail. Normally, a passive item like this doesn't need very much attention, and fortunately, many fuel lines are pretty long-lived. However, mechanical impact can sever or damage them over time. Further, if a vehicle spends its life in the salt belt, metal fuel lines can succumb to rust, and nylon fuel lines eventually get brittle and fail, usually necessitating repair or replacement. Dorman offers a number of solutions that can make a fuel line repair or replacement job a bit easier for your customers. The most straightforward parts we offer are original style pre-bent fuel lines. We have them in nylon, and we also offer them in steel. If repairing an existing line, we also offer line repair kits and a number of quick disconnect fittings, along with some of the tools one would need to R&R these pieces. We also have bulk nylon fuel lines for someone making large section repairs or plumbing a custom system. However, these are just the nuts and bolts, table stakes I call them. Where Dorman really shines, however, is our OE Fix fuel lines. OE Fix is a value proposition we offer where we improve a factory part that has known failures. Our OE Fix stainless lines are a perfect example of this in action. Bent just like the factory lines, ours go in easily, if anything about fuel line replacement can be considered easy. However, because stainless steel is so robust, it holds up beautifully in the rough undercar conditions that eat cars in the salt belt. Selling a retail customer a set of these lines is a virtual guarantee that this unsavory task at the very least won't be necessary again anytime soon. And on the commercial counter? Well, the cost to install lines made of any material is the same. So a few bucks more now for stainless might be a pretty wise investment. Speaking of labor, boy, this job is a bear. Fuel lines are usually installed before all of the components are in place as the car travels down the assembly line. But once all the stuff is in the way, the job gets hairy. The fuel tank almost always needs to be pumped out and removed, and frequently other components like the suspension items and the subframes need to be pulled too. Where possible, we've split lines to help ease the installation a bit, but that difficult process leads me to another OE Fix product, flexible fuel lines. We've introduced a flexible braided stainless line for replacing rusted OEM units. These lines can be fed and guided easily in ways solid lines just can't. The amount of labor that can be saved with these lines is just staggering. Don't be surprised when people ask for these by name. If you're selling fuel lines to a customer, they'll obviously need lines and tools and related fittings, but you may also want to ask about brake lines as well. They are often run in the same areas, and if one is going to go bad, it's likely the other was too. Sometimes it makes sense to replace a fuel pump and/or sending unit and the lock ring. Since the tank might be down anyway, it can be a no additional labor installation, especially good for someone looking for a lot more life out of a given vehicle. And in most cases, a fuel filter is a given for this job. If your commercial customers will be aware of what it takes to replace fuel lines, but if you have a walk-in customer, it's probably a good idea to let them know that this task can be a bit difficult without a lift. It is, however, notably easier on most pickups where the bed can be lifted off pretty easily. Other than that, with the right tools and Dorman parts, you should be confident that your customer can get the job done. And remember, if you need any help before, during, or after the sale, our Dorman technical support team is always handy to help. Give them a call at 866-933-2911. Thanks for taking a little time to brush up on fuel lines. We hope it helps you and your customers. I'll see you next time.